Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Library. The library is open, which means it's time to either read
or be read.
I'm your host, Phil Picardi.
And I'm Meredith Lucen.
We have just launched at them a new series called Queeroes, which awards our modern-day queer superheroes. And today we are so excited to be joined by one of the people from our package.
Yes, one of our guests is the lovely Kimberly Drew, who is an activist, curator, writer, and social media manager at the Met. And
one of the best people to follow on Twitter. Fun fact.
One of the best people in the world.
Oh my
Fun
God,
fact.
Stop it! You guys are so sweet.
We are also joined by the lovely and truly inimitable Tyler Ford, who's on our team at them as one of our editors, but is joining us today because Tyler is a Grand Marshal of New York City Pride. Congratulations, Tyler.
Thank you.
We are so excited to have you guys. So for a part of our big Queeroes franchise, we actually worked with the filmmaker Jill Soloway on a series of short films that Lena Waithe and Tanya Sriracha also helped us mentor these young queer filmmakers to create films that kind of subverted the Hollywood narrative. So the filmmakers were given different Hollywood tropes and then were asked to kind of flip the script and queer what Hollywood's narratives are.
Yeah,
so we'll be debuting those this week actually at New York City Pride, which we're super excited about, and then having our big Queeroes bash, of which Kimberly is a part. So Kimberly, you are obviously chosen to be a part of this portfolio. It was like a unanimous staff thing. I think you were on everyone's list. You carry a lot of different titles, as Meredith already alluded to in your introduction. You're multi-hyphenate. A lot of the work that you do happens in the art space, of course. You work at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, arguably one of the most important art institutions in the world. What is it like to introduce and kind of expand upon queer narratives, specifically in the art world?
For me, I try to do it programmatically because I'm not a curator in the traditional sense. I'm more of like a digital curator. I'm very much a person who's like, look at this person, look at this thing, look at this thing through social media. But one of the things that I really enjoy to do is to be in conversation with artists. So last year during Pride, I put together a panel with Raina Gossett, Saeed Jones, and Koa Beck at the Met, which felt really significant. It's like 4 queer people of color talking about issues that relate to our lives. So trying to just invite new people into that space felt really significant. And then, of course, as I'm thinking about different artists to highlight, I try to think across different verticals of identity and making sure that I'm promoting a lot of different types of voices. You want to think about as many people that you can recommend to bring in. So if there's an opening in the office, if there's an internship program that's coming up, I'm always thinking about, okay, who was that young person that I met, or what program can I activate with? I'm going to go and talk to as many 13-ish-year-olds as I possibly can to let them know that a career in this field is possible.
Part of the thing that I love about the Queeroes portfolio, and I think the list that largely Tyler and Meredith have put together, is that it's celebrating the modern-day queer superhero. And I have to say, when I saw New York City Pride announce you as Grand Marshal, I like, so many bells went off, because obviously you are a superhero to so many people in your own right, which is so important. But it's a major, I think, step forward and a step in the right direction for New York City Pride and the institution of Pride, of course, to be recognizing and giving a spotlight to, of course, a community that largely has been overlooked and marginalized by the Pride Parade, which of course is the trans community. Did you have any reservations about taking the mantle and being Grand Marshal? There's going to be cameras all around you.
The outfits are planned.
I did have reservations, especially because as one person, I can never represent everyone. And I texted my friend Arabelle Sicardi, for advice, because I was like, this is a really big honor, and part of me wants to accept, but also I'm very nervous about this, and what does it mean for me to accept this? And basically they told me that they would support my decision either way, but that they know that there are a lot of young people who are looking to me and who would be really happy and proud to see me, and how they would be inspired to see me. And so that really, Arabelle's comment is what pushed me to sort of release my anxiety and be like, okay, well, I'm in this position for a reason, and I should use it to help other people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, from the both of you, how would either of you define what you think is the future of queerness?
I think, to me, the future of queerness is communication and is access, because there are so many queer people who don't understand their queerness or understand that they are queer or know what that means either for them or in the world generally. So I think the future really just depends on us to like keep being who we are, keep talking about who we are, and like pushing our own limits and boundaries as to how we understand ourselves and how we want to like expand the definition of queerness for future generations and also for our own generation.
I think especially in terms of, like, I think about queerness so much more about an individual identification process, and I think we're seeing more examples of different types of people, which is really exciting, but I also think on an interpersonal level, it's about asking better questions of people, listening when people announce their pronouns and following suit. So I think it's really deeply embedded in communication, so thank you for using that.
I'm curious, Kimberly, can you give us a hint of what's coming down the road for you? What kind of projects you're working on?
Let's see, I am working on a book. Black Futures Project is the title of the book, and what we're interested in doing in this book is looking at Black cultural production over the last decade or so. The time is weird and nonlinear, but really thinking about who are some of the people, if we look back at this moment, that we need to remember, record, and hold in one space. Because as we all know, we're all internet kids. Everything is kind of fleeting. It's like, we'd be hard pressed to talk about what happened on the internet 2 weeks ago. And so trying to build an anthology of the things that feel like important cultural moments and trying to figure out who are the people who can be like these almost lighthouses for entire communities is what we're trying to do through our book.
Awesome.
Amazing.
That is so exciting. Well, congratulations. Okay, now is time for our favorite segment of the show, which is the Go Off. 60 seconds of unadulterated and uninterrupted time for someone to go off about whatever they choose. And this week we have the lovely Meredith doing the honors. I'm going to set your timer. Ready? Mm-hmm. Hey Google, set a timer for 60 seconds.
Sure, 1 minute, starting now.
I discovered that in 2016, less than half of eligible LGBTQ plus voters voted in the 2016 election. And if those voters did vote, it's distinctly possible that we would have a different president right now. And also, queer voters historically vote in even fewer numbers in the midterm election. As we think about Pride and as we think about Queero as a concept right now, we can be heroes to ourselves as queer people by going to the polls, by showing our voices, because like we can't be in a position of fighting for our rights when we don't elect the right people into office, when we don't vote for the right initiatives, when we don't advocate for our liberties in the polling booths. And that is my go off.
Excellent. That is perfect timing. Thank you. I'm so excited to hear more. But yes, voting in the midterms is super important.
Absolutely.
We need to get out there. And all these queer people are running for office, which is even better, right?
Which is amazing.
Cool.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you to our lovely guests for joining us, except for Tyler. And I hope that everyone has a safe and beautiful and fun Pride and that you've enjoyed watching. Please like below and follow @them on social media. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.